Good morning. It's Good Friday today. Just arrived at the allotment. Looks like quite a nice day today. A little bit of a breeze around by the looks of it. So I was hoping I might be able to get a bit of drone footage today, but I don't think I'll be able to. You never know. But yeah, got quite a lot to do today at the allotment. Got a van full of grass clippings, and it's a bit smelly in here. Got to be honest. Mind you, it's not the cleanest of vans. But yeah, so I'm going to go to the allotment. I've been here for God, maybe a couple of weeks, I think, since I put the potatoes in anyway, and I'll probably put the date on the screen. So yeah, just want to have a look, see if they've come up. If they have, I don't think I'll be able to sling any grass clippings around them. I mean, the grass clippings what I've got in here, they've started to go a bit anaerobic because they've been in bags, so don't really want to spread that around the potatoes if they're coming through because it will burn the foliage. It's been very windy here by the looks of it. My little windmill is ripped and broke. The cage has got a big pole sticking out of the top. So yeah, it's obviously been windy. The nets there have been blown in. So yeah, I thought I'd just have a quick look round, see what's going on. Potatoes not come through yet. There's a little bit of bindweed. Oh no, that's not bindweed. I thought, yeah, there's a bit here. So this bed's probably going to have bindweed coming up everywhere this year again, but hopefully this year might be the last. This bed's probably going to have more than any of it because this has had corn and potatoes in it for the last couple of years, and in the middle I've not been able to get in there to pull it out while stuff's been growing to sort of weaken it. But none of the potatoes are coming up through here yet, which apparently is good because John's just said to me it's been frosty here every morning last week. It's just a few little seedlings coming up here and there. Pull them out. But yeah, it looks like something might have been digging in there, maybe a cat or something as well. But onions in here, they're looking okay. There's not curly growth on any of these yet, but you know, there's still time for something to get them. But they're looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with the onions in here. Still a little bit of rye around the edges coming up in here, 2 or 3 places. But a couple of broad beans have survived, and the little snapdragon at the end there, the antirrhinum, that's still there. Yeah, the garlic's not looking too bad. You can tell the difference. That was a bit what I dug over this bit here, just to see, because everyone always says dig over the area for your garlic for good drainage. So we'll see what digging does. And I think these ones here I dipped holes and put compost in and stuff like that. There's not a lot of difference between these two, but we'll see if there's any difference in the size of the garlic when I come to harvest it. And the ones in here, in this little planter, look pretty good. Starting to get a few weed seeds coming in there now. But yeah, I need to give everything a bit of a water today and feed. Not really rained much since the strawberries have been put in, but I think they must have rooted in by now. I've started to get a bit of new growth, but still a bit of brown on them. Blackbird's definitely been in there flicking the soil around. I just saw her and him. Yeah, compost, that's definitely started to shrink down, and it's cooled down now as well. It's just still in the active, which is a bit of a surprise really, because like I say, it's been a couple of weeks since I come up here. But I've got quite a lot of grass clippings and weeds and stuff in there to mix through. And I've got plenty of leaves as well, because what I did with my potato cauldrons over winter, I topped them all up with leaves. So I've got to take these leaves out and top them up with a bit of leaf mould from the leaf mould bin. So I've got 3 cauldrons all in all. And just a little bit of leaf mould in here, what's left over. Not a massive amount, but plenty of things germinating in it, and a couple of raspberry canes coming up in there by the looks of it. In fact, I've got raspberry canes coming up everywhere. So yeah, in here, once this is empty, I'm going to start emptying this leaf mould bin from here into there. Ideally, you know, I'm not worried about the leaves on the top too much, but the stuff at the bottom, which has all been compacted and probably a lot more moist and a lot more rotted down, I probably want to get that in there if I can. I've got to remember to take this tube home. I'll get that out now, so don't forget. This is going to be, actually looking at it, it's a little bit thin. I thought it was a bit bigger than that, but I might be able to get one long decent carrot out of that for Jimmy's carrot grow competition, so you can get a giant carrot. I'll just leave that there for a minute. So yeah, got a bit to do today, sort out the compost and what have you, sort out these potatoes, but we'll have a little look at this apple tree because it looks absolutely beautiful with this blossom on. So a little step over apple tree. I think it's a, oh my god, what is it? A russet, I think. There's just a bee coming to say hello now. Looks like might get some plums this year. Looks like the frost hasn't got these yet or anything. And may get a few cherries again this year. So when I first bought this tree from Lidl for £8.99, and we had about 20 cherries off it in its first year. Since then, I've neglected it, and a little bit of it's died, and I've had to chop it back a little bit because I didn't get it into the ground quick enough, basically. But it looks like we might have some cherries again this year. But that apple tree, I think that looks amazing. So the asparagus, I've actually got maybe 1 or 2 spears I could pick, and these were just what I planted last year in here. I think it was last year anyway. And the ones behind have been here ever since I've had the plot. And they've never ever really done any good in the middle there. I don't know what, well actually the seeds were colossal, I think, something like that, colossus. So look, there's a label. Conivus colossal. And they've done rubbish. My little seedlings, like that one there, is doing better after being in there. Well, they're probably about 2 years old now, so I probably shouldn't even really pick that one yet. Should let the energy go back into the crown. Another one that I put in just before these ones, but was a bit older, so that's probably 3 years old now. That's got a fairly decent spear coming on it. Oh, so yeah, I'll pick some of them today anyway. Only going to be a couple, but something's better than nothing. Quick look in the flower bed. The Albrezia's doing really well. I definitely need to get in there and weed that. And I probably want to take maybe some of these anemones out and put them at home because they're quite nice. Pretty little blue flowers there. I'm not worried about forget-me-nots because they'll sell seed everywhere anyway. But I might take a little bit of, there's a sedum in there. I might take that out. Oh, in fact, I've got a pot of Jacob's Ladder, Solomon seal. Oh, that's probably rooted through, but yeah, I'll take that home with me, pop that in the garden. It's been in a pot here for a couple of years, I'm surprised it's still alive, but we'll take that over with the drain pipe. I've even got a little hollyhock in the wood chips here I need to dig out and take home as well. But right, let's start having a look. Well, I need 20 MDs first, don't I? Let's do that first. Okay, so yeah, kind of forgot about I had these leaves, and I've been looking for carbon to add to the compost. But this should have protected the soil from harsh elements a bit, and insulated the worms and stuff if there are any in here. God, I hate this weed fabric, all these bloody strands everywhere. Yeah, I can still see a bit of the sulphur and stuff in here, what I put on last time, to bring the pH down a bit. It's also a secondary nutrient. But yeah, just try and get any of these bigger bits of leaves out. Now there's bound to be quite a few tree seeds germinating here, especially these little helicopters from the sycamores and that. Yeah, in fact, yeah, there's quite a few worms in there. In fact, there's loads. Mix this sulphur in a little bit. So I think I popped in quite a bit of bloodfish and bone and chicken manure pellets and maybe some potato fertiliser. So yeah, there's quite a few worms wriggling in there. There's some wood lice and stuff, a few seedlings and that, but there's a bit of sulphur. It's not broken down. There's a worm, a red wriggler. So this has been getting fed. Another worm there, that. Getting fed really by the worms all winter, and the leaves breaking down, keeping it active. And I've got quite a bit of compost in here, what I can use for Frankensteins this year. Which is good, and I've got quite a few leaves to pop in the compost. So I've been emptying my leaves and my grass into the compost. I've just got in there and trod it all down so I can get a bit more in. I want to top it off with a bit of these leaves from the leaf mould bin here, some of the loose ones on top, before I start putting the decent stuff in the leaf mould bin. So I'll just show you what I've come across anyway in the old single seed potato bin from 2024, which I wasn't expecting to find, but we have a potato growth in there, so I need to get that out. Right, I've got to be careful, I don't. Sorry, just put my camera case down in the dirt. Right, so there's obviously, oh look, there's a potato there, look. I don't know if you can see that, but I obviously didn't harvest this edge, did I, when I came? Hopefully it's just this one. Oh God, hopefully it's not that big. Let's see if I can get underneath it. Oh, bloody hell. Right. Steve, I'm going to add this to my weight from last year. Oh, crikey. It's a shame, really. I've got to dig this out because it is just one. But how could I miss that? See, I'm going to try and stick that back in a pot if I can. Going to try and get all this, see all the fungal spores on the leaves there, which is awesome. That's good for a minute of that. But yeah, get a lot of materials in your compost all in one go, and you're going to get some decent heat. Big twigs. So the stuff I added to the garlic as well, that shrunk down, so I'm going to try and save a little bit for that. See you later, John. I'm get nearly all of this in there now. And that should get really, really hot now. Put the lid on. And get that weight down. It's so windy here. don't want to lose compost lid. Okay, so I'm thinking of now actually, because I haven't got a lot of compost at home, single seed potatoes. I'm actually going to dig out some compost from there and then add some leaf mould back in afterwards, try and top it up a bit. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I've taken out some compost from one of these cauldrons for the single seed potatoes at home. I've topped it up with a little bit more nutrients, bit of sulphur, blood fish and bone, and some potato fertiliser, and I've topped it up with some leaf mould, which is the nice stuff on top here. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave those open now, let the rain get on it to, excuse me, to help take the nutrients down. I've also given it a bit of a watering with the J-Darm fertiliser, which is not actually smelling at all, it's quite pleasant to the smell. I've topped up the leaf mould bin, and I don't know if you can see a tiny little worm just there, but it's actually quite a lot of worms in that moist bit there. So I've probably got about another 2 Dalekfuls worth of leaf mould there, but this will shrink down and I'll just keep topping it up. And obviously there's still a load of leaves in there, so if I need to mix them through with the compost next time, I'll get some grass clippings. I mean, that'll shrink down hopefully. Right, back from the allotment, I decided to actually grow the carrots in my old chimney stacks. They're quite deep, and when I've got that tube inserted in it as well, hopefully get just one decent long carrot in that. Some poppies self-seeded in here, so I took some out already and popped them in the garden, so I'll probably take those other ones out, pop them in the garden. The 4 bags for a single seed potato, they're just here with the Manitou, what I dug out. I'm going to have to find a spot for that Manitou. Like, I've got no more compost hardly anywhere, so I'm really struggling, but I might have some left over from that to pop it in a container. Or, well, I hope to get some potatoes popped in this area either today or tomorrow, hopefully today. Got the Jacob's ladder in the pot there, and I bought a Homeochralis, a white echinacea, white swan, and Aster Jenny. So the Homeochralis, so crown, so you can see crown fire. That looks really nice. Look at the colours of that. They're all £2.99 each from Lidl. The Aster was quite pot bound, so I ripped it in half and managed to get 2 plants from that. So I've just popped them in over here. The Aster is this one just here and just over there. I popped the Homeochralis just here, which this Iridium keeps flopping over on it. Just there, in fact there's a little slug there, let's get them away from it. White sorry, I can't even get everything in picture. The white swan echinacea's there. And what did I do with the other thing? In fact, look at this. Them slugs there. They've actually chopped that leaf right off and now we're just eating it. Yeah, that was it, weren't it? Homeochralis just here, everything's all munching. Looks like I'm going to get some cornflowers soon, and this Allotment, I'm pretty sure it had quite a big head on it. I'm looking forward to seeing what that one is. Have a little look in the greenhouse quickly. So it is the next morning from the allotment. I didn't get much done yesterday. Well, I potted on the corn. I've got about 48 definitely chitted, and yeah, potted them on last night. Well, just stuck them in some compost, you know, popped them in with a little dibber. I've actually got a snail or a slug in here somewhere. This is the second time I found some trails, but it doesn't look like it's done too much damage. It's done a little bit on this baby leaf here. I'm not worried about that, but I'm hoping it's not hiding in here somewhere underneath. It's got a little snail trail in there, but it's not eating any of that either. I've looked under the pots, I've looked under the potatoes. It's probably hiding underneath one of these potato pots because these aren't flush to the ground, these black pots there, not like these coloured ones here. But I'm not too worried about if it eats the bigger plants because they're more likely to survive, but don't want them to find the seedlings yet. I want to put on some of these brassicas because I'm not going to put them out at the allotment for another couple of weeks, so I think they'll be stunted if I leave them in these little ones here. But I've got some slightly bigger ones of these 6-cell trays, which I really like. It helps keep them all together, so I'll probably put them in there. Here's the Frankensteins. Watching Robert's video, he's got 13 already. So God knows what he's been doing to his. But what I plan on doing with these 4 is popping them in these containers here. That gets pretty much full sun there all the time. It's quite sheltered. And yeah, I'll pop all 4 in there. I'm not going to take them up to the allotment. Normally I'll put them in the cauldrons, the first 5 or 6 plants. I think I had 6 plants first year. No, 5 the first year, 6 last year. Now I've only got 4. So they'll be going in there. I haven't got to move them anywhere then. I'll just take cuttings from them and take the cuttings up to the allotment if they grow. Because it does take 3 weeks. It's a bit of a risk really taking cuttings. Well, it's taken 3 weeks for the last 2 years for them to root. But yeah, so I haven't got the melons out here or any of the squashes at the moment, other than the Atlantic giants because they're just too big. But it was 10.8 degrees in here last night, minimum, which is pretty good. That's the warmest it's been. So it was quite windy and wet. So hopefully the evening temperatures are coming up a bit more now. I'll just show you what I've done over here. So peas, we'll put a little support in for them now, and they're yeah, they're definitely getting bigger, and hopefully get some peas with them next month. The sweet peas in here, I did actually put a few more in, and looks like there's a little tiny green shoot just there coming. So it did rain a little bit last night, kept the surface moist a bit. So yeah, looking good. So sun's only really just come out this morning, so most of the seedlings have been in the windowsill on there. Put the light on this morning about 8 o'clock. Sweet corn in that tray. We'll just go and have a little look. So out of all the 53 seeds what are chitted, I'd say about 48, 49 actually sprouted. So I put all the sprouted ones in here, and I've got just a couple coming through the surface there now. The other ones I actually popped in toilet roll tubes in little pots at the bottom. I don't know if that's wise because one of them at the back there over there looks like it's coming apart already. But just got to be in here for about a month really, maybe not even as long as that. But as soon as they start to shoot, I'll put some beans in for the beans to climb up them because I intend to do the 3 sisters and have some squash going through them. Probably the Atlantic giants, I should imagine. They're going to be massive. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to turn this light off in a minute now the sun's out and transplant all these out. I did sow some more celery in here. I found the seeds from LED for red marigolds. I couldn't find them. Then I thought I'd sown them. Then I found them. So I put some of them in there. And no, so that's the Brussels sprouts in there. I didn't find any more Brendan Brussels sprouts, but I've got the Evesham special. So I put a load of seeds in there for that. And this is the red marigolds with just a bit of vermiculite on top. Apparently they like to have a bit of light to germinate. So yeah, everything's going really well, really. Like I say, I need to put on Carolina Reapers. I keep calling them California Reapers, but Carolina. So yeah, everything's going well. I've just got to do some things today, like maybe plant potatoes and put on some of the brassicas. But that's about it. If you want to see that, then subscribe and you know, think about giving a thumbs up or thumbs down for the interaction. Maybe giving us a comment. Thanks, Ian. Goodbye.